ISTB presents, in association with Dhanmanjuri Community College, DM University Imphal, launching a series of educational programs, recorded online classes for undergraduate and postgraduate students by teachers from various colleges and universities. During this COVID-19 lockdown, every day on ISTB Nongin, 8 p.m. from 24th May 2020 onwards. What's for Dept? Only on ISTB Nongin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ningthoujam Shovarani, and I am a faculty in the Environmental Science at the YK College, Wangjing. Today, I will talk on the topic hazardous waste. Hazardous waste, as we already know that chemicals affect our everyday life. They are used to produce almost everything we use, from paper and plastics to medicines and to the food to gasoline, steel and electronic equipments. More than 70,000 chemicals are used regularly around the world. Some occur naturally in the earth or atmosphere. Others are synthetic or man-made or the anthropogenic. When we use and dispose of them properly, they may enhance our quality of life. But when we dispose or use them in the improper way, they can harm our life as well as to our surroundings. That is, they may have the harmful effect on the humans as well as the plants, animals and its surrounding environment. So let us see what is the hazard. Before we know the hazardous waste, let us try to know what is this hazard. Hazard is nothing, it is something which we know to cause harm, that is a source of danger to health, or simply we can say that it refers to the inherent properties of a chemical substances that make it capable of causing harm to a person or the environment. So next, let us see what is the risk. Risk is nothing, it is the likelihood or the probability to cause the hazard or the magnitude of the resulting effects, or simply it is the possibility of the harm arising from a particular exposure to a chemical substances under specific condition. So as an example, let us see how the cow dung making near the house. In this case, the dung cakes are usually prepared near the house. The flies pick up pathogenic organisms from the dung and transfer them to the fresh food that is ready for consumption. In this case, the children or an adult who eats the contaminated food and gets sick like a diarrhea in some few days. The condition or the situation producing this dung cake is hazardous or dangerous because it facilitates the breeding of flies near to fresh food in the house. The infected food is the hazard that damages the child's health. The hazard arises because of this infectious agent, the pathogenic organism, and the process or the condition, that is the preparation of the cow dung cake close to the house. And in this case, the risk is getting an infection from the someone who consumed this infected food that is contaminated with this infectious agent. So now we know what is the hazard and the risk, difference between these two words. So next, let us see what is the hazardous waste. Hazardous waste is nothing, it is those waste which can cause harm to the humans or the environment. Hadi akoi environment natraga akoi human being da akaiba thohanba natraga akoi da nungai taba khudong thiningai oiba adugumba akaiba pihanba adugumba waste tubu akoi na hazardous waste haina khangne ko. Waste is normally classified habidi akoi na waste kamaina hazardous waste ni habasa akoi na normally classified tauge hababu when it causes or significantly contribute to an increase in mortality. Habdi mi sibagi sang hengalhan ba sihan ba yabagi pot thohalakpa haiba substances natraga increase in the irreversible or the incapacitating reversible illness or the poses a substantial present or the potential hazard to the humans and to the environment when improperly treated, stored, transported or disposed of. Habidi hazardous waste haibse akoina normally kamaina classify tawgadage hababu makoi sing ase akoi mioiba natraga akoi ba da laiba surrounding environment asida akoi da shihanba yabagi adugumba possibility leiraba natraga akoi anaba layong thohalakpa yaba kiningai ba akoi da harm tawba adugumba posaksing adubo akoina hazardous waste haina khangne ko adubo waste khudimak loin hazardous waste oibadi nate hairiba sing marakta akoi gi sigumba akoi mioibada natraga surrounding environment is the mortality rate increase torpa dagi laina tina thohalakpa sigumba khoi harm tawba sing waste sing adubu khoi hazardous waste haina khangne ko ado akoi simply khoina amarom da hairagana any waste that has thrown away that can still potentially harm its surrounding and those who dwell in them is considered hazardous waste. This can be anything from the chemical waste and the materials left over from manufacturing or the household garbage such as cleaning solutions, old batteries, empty pesticide bottles or cans, pen thinner and the non-biodegradable plastics. So we know what is hazardous waste. Next, these are some of the examples of the hazardous waste. Here we see the disposal site areas and biomedical waste which are hazardous, such as discarded needles and the blood samples and the household pens and the all used batteries and discarded gloves. These are the some of the examples of the hazardous waste. So now let us see the characteristics of the hazardous waste. Haidi akoina hazardous waste sing asigi magi characteristics e khara akoina nainaba matamda four primary characteristics leb ko kara based on the physical or the chemical properties of toxicity, reactivity, ignitability and corrosivity. Haiba magi sigi four primary characters sing asida based orga hazardous waste sing ase classified to in addition to this see the sunatana akoina waste product that are either infectious or radioactive are also classified as hazardous. Koi the infectious organ ba the radioactive waste sing asisu akoina hazardous waste ki manung da saleba ko. Now let us see what are these toxic waste. Toxic waste sing ase akoina karamba waste sing bu koina toxic waste haina khangna ge habada. These wastes are substances that are poisonous even in very small or trace amount. Haidi moi chang quantity se kitang yaungjar bota su makoi je akoi the poisonous oiba adugumba substances. Some may have an acute or the immediate effect on humans and animals. Haidi haiba waste sing asi akoi ne exposure to matamda acute adi kudakta mai immediate effect or humans amsung animals sing asida labor yawi kodam aduna khoi causing death or the violent illness yam sathina naba natraga siba sumaini yawi sigumba sing asibu akoin acute or the immediate effect oina khangnai adagi others may have a chronic or the long term effect haidi kui na matam sang exposure phangaba matungda lakpa adugumba effect slowly causing irreparable harm to exposed persons. Acute toxicity is readily apparent because organisms respond to the toxin shortly after being exposed. Chronic toxicity is much more difficult to determine because the effect may not be seen for years. Habidi acute toxicity that the akoina dum kudakta khangba ngamba haidi magi kudamoin hairabada skin da eyes da skin irritation tholapa rashes develop toropa adugumba kudakta haiba wasting ase exposure toro matung da maina khangba ngami adubu chronic effect have the chronic toxicity gi matang di akoina madugi symptoms je pakna khangba ngamde maram di makoi je kuina haksang da prolong kuina exposure toro matung da chahi kaya kharagi matung da adumaina khangapa ngamba yawe masibuna koina chronic toxicity haina su khangne adana certain toxic wastes are known to be carcinogenic adi toxic waste sing asida shu akoina carcinogenic oiba yaw carcinogenic habadi cancer causing agents saibani cancer thohan bangam ba dugumba waste substance sing the yaw my chemical sing adagi others may be mutagenic causing biological changes adi khara mana mutagenic oiba yaw mutagenic habadi akoina mutant tho matungda DNA cells sing asida changes lakpa akoi mioi bada de natraga angang sing de infants da aiba toxic waste sing asi exposure tawro matung da DNA akoi gi genetic level the changes myam lakpa sing adu akoi na mutagenic ana haina khangne aduna masigu masing se ayamana children exposed to peoples and animals exposed people sing asigi masa masuda karida sumaina sigi mutagenic oiba kano sing ase ayambana lai haiba chronic toxic waste sing asi akoina exposed tawraba matungda kudamoina haibada pesticides for example pesticides da akoina insecticide herbicides fungicides and mayam lay and many household cleaners are toxic. The mathangda koina reactive waste haina yengasi. Now let us see what are these reactive wastes. These reactive wastes are nothing. These wastes are those wastes which have the tendency to react vigorously with the air or the water, and which is unstable to shock or the heat, and it generates toxic gases or explodes during the routine management. These wastes can be dangerous. The Environmental Protection Agency recognizes that there are too many conditions and situations to identify all types of reactive materials. They use the following guidelines to assist the generators. So these reactive wastes, they are unstable and routinely experiences violent changes without detonating. The potential for explosive mixture or the violent reaction when combined with water. The toxic gases are released when mixed with water or combined with other chemicals. For example, chlorine, bleach and ammonia are reactive and create a poisonous gases when they come into contact with each other. So chlorine, bleach amasung ammonia ani asi reaction thokanda poisonous gas ama pire ko makoi singa sina makoi amaga reaction thokanda sumaina mixture oina react tongnara kanda hena sathiba khoida poisonous oiba gas me amam se thokleba sigumba gas poisonous gasing asibu sumaina reaction tho matung da thoro iba waste sing ase akhoina reactive waste haina khangne ko sida sunatana khoi gunpowder amasung nitroglycerin ani jipun sanara kanda phattaba poisonous oiba adugumba reactive gases sing ase reactive waste sing asida yawre ko. Now let us see what are corrosive waste. Corrosive waste, this waste is that which destroys material and living tissue by chemical reaction. Corrosive waste is koling chaba adugumba dispose waste singa sini adubuni akoina corrosive waste and high say it has the ability to eat through containers, causing leakage of the harmful materials. A corrosive is nothing. It is anything liquid with a pH of less than or equal to 2 or greater than or equal to 12.5. Have the acids and bases corrosive such as the hydrochloric acid, nitric acid and sulfuric acid. So it has the ability to corrode the steel and burn skin on contact and gives off vapor when burn the ice. Everyday example of the corrosive waste include battery acid and rust removers. Next to corrosive waste, let us come to the ignitable waste. Ignitable waste is nothing. It is those are which are flammable. Have the may sakan ba dugumba may hogan ba dugumba wasting dunebko. This waste is when burns at relatively low temperature, less than 60 degrees Celsius, and is capable of spontaneous combustion during storage, transport, or disposal. It poses a fire hazard, can irritate the skin, eyes and lungs, and may give off harmful vapor. It may be in the form of oxidizers and compressed gases. Example of these ignitable wastes are gasoline, alcohol, acetone, paint thinner, furniture polish. Ignitable waste. Now the infectious waste. Corrosive waste, reactive waste, ignitable waste. sigi matungda je akoini infectious waste as karino yengsi. These infectious waste, these are waste that include the discarded blood, unwanted microbiological cultures and stocks, and identifiable body parts including those as a result of amputation, other human or animal tissues, or the bandages and dressings, discarded gloves, other medical supplies that may have been in contact with the blood or body fluids. Salve includes potentially contaminated used and unused discarded hypodermic needles, scalpels, and devices capable of penetrating skin. Hariba infectious waste as a coin mainly karai have the hospital waste the ayamba seizing a setole. Hospital waste is the show coin biomedical waste and atonganama lady aduna hariba biomedical waste in sigi maru the yauriba infectious waste in aduneba mainly seizing as a kudamoin have the coin of mock the kaida postmortem toromatum da cotton, blood stain cotton gumba, they discarded gloves, blood stain to wasigumba sing as a properly disposed natraga cannot discarded of the badagi akoina sidagi infection tolopa mayam lay mina akoi mio bada koi haksangi body tissue gumba gumba mayam sing asidagi infection tolopa mayam sing ado adugumba waste sing adudagi tolopa sing ado akoina infectious waste haina kangne and radioactive waste. Radioactive waste is waste that is the byproduct of various nuclear technology processes and are the output from nuclear power plants that can persist in the environment for thousands of years before it decays appreciably. And the radioactive waste breakdown to ba pak nangam de aduna makoi sing as environment matang kuina breakdown to dana dum disposed or aduna ayamba si radioactive waste asida nuclear technology processing the ayamba thoglei. These are some of the symbols where when we buy the products from the market, we can see on the container. In this case, we see this symbol is shows it is the carcinogenic product which can cause the cancer, and this one the fish and the tree it shows it is toxic to the environment or the ecosystem. So these are some of the symbolic representation of the hazardous waste.
ISTB presents, in association with Dhanamantjuri Community College, Dept University Imphal, launching a series of educational programs, recorded online classes for undergraduate and postgraduate students by teachers from various colleges and universities. During this COVID-19 lockdown, every day on ISTB Nongin, 8 p.m. from 24th May 2020 onwards. Watch for that. Only on ISTB Nongin.